Timothy 1:16. The Lord grant mercy to the household of Onesiphorus, for he often refreshed me and was not ashamed of my chain.
Where was that again?
2 Timothy 1:16. And that just kind of expresses the feelings that I have for this body today. That you often refresh me. Over the last week, it's been very evident. I appreciate your prayers and your support. But the thing that occurred to me here as I was reading this was Onesiphorus was not ashamed of my chain. In 2 Timothy, they think that this was the last book that Paul wrote, and probably second imprisonment in Rome. And of course we can imagine what the chain was at that point. That he was literally in chains in prison. But what other chains are there that we might take offense at in each other? There's, as Keith prayed this morning before the worship, he was saying, Lord, convict us. The Lord doesn't condemn us, but he convicts us of those things which are hindering us from coming completely and totally and fully to him. And we want that because it cleans out the conduit, as he said, and it makes the flow even and free. But if we look at each other and see chains that are binding, and we take offense at that, it restricts our ability to function with each other, to fellowship with each other, to receive literally what Christ has for each of us through each other. Maybe this fits, maybe it doesn't. Practically, my wife grew up on a ranch. She knows more about you folks than I do. I grew up in a sawmill. Hardly know the difference between one end of the horse and the other. And ignorance can be a chain. But we've not felt that. I was talking to my son on the phone. He's in Alaska, telling about how well he had received us here. And he said, oh, they're not taking shots at your pig pot. You had pig pile yet? That little flat hat that I wear all the time. I said, no, they're very gracious. And I think that's the spirit of Christianity. You don't look down at this Gentile because he doesn't have a cowboy hat. And frankly, I'm not sure I want a cowboy hat. That would raise your expectations of me. Anyway, the Lord grant mercy to the household of Onesiphorus, not just to him, but to his household, for he often refreshed me and was not ashamed of my chain. We've had the dubious privilege over the years of ministering to close friends that have been incarcerated. And how does Satan whisper in your ear when you walk into the jailhouse? Well, what are people going to think when you start associating with that jailbird now? Or when they get out and they know that they have a black mark on their name in the eyes of the community, and you still continue to associate with them. Had the dubious privilege of walking through adulterous situations with two pastor friends. And just to go into a restaurant with them after that situation and to be seen in public with them. What do people think? Well, is that a chain? Is that calling them a Gentile when they're trying to minister to somebody else? And I just think we want to be aware of that. It's a warning to us that we look to see Jesus in each other and put aside the whispers that Satan's trying to get through to us.